Hi guys, welcome to another audio video elaborating 2nd Chronicles 26 of the King James Version Bible. And it reads, Then all the people of Judah took Uzziah, who was 16 years old, and made him king in the room of his father Amaziah. He built Eloth and restored it to Judah. After that the king slept with his fathers. 16 years old was Uzziah when he began to reign, and he reigned 52 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Jecholiah of Jerusalem. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his father Amaziah did. And he sought God in the days of Zechariah, who had understanding in the visions of God. And as long as he sought the Lord, he made him to prosper. And he went forth and warred against the Philistines, and brake down the wall of Gath, and the wall of Zabneh, and the wall of Ashdod, and built cities about Ashdod and among the Philistines. And God helped him against the Philistines and against the Arabians that dwelt in Gurbaal and the Mehunims. And the Ammonites gave gifts to Uzziah, and his name spread abroad even to the entering in of Egypt, for he strengthened himself exceedingly. Moreover, Uzziah built towers in Jerusalem at the corner gate, and at the valley gate, and at the turning of the wall, and fortified them. And he built towers in the desert, and digged many wells, for he had much cattle, both in the low country and in the plains, husbandmen also, and vine dressers in the mountains, and in Carmel, for he loved husbandry. Moreover, Uzziah had an host of fighting men that went out to war by bands, according to the number of their account, by the hand of Jael the scribe, and Mahaseah the ruler, under the hand of Ananiah, one of the king's captains. The whole number of the chief of the fathers of the mighty men of valor were 2,600, and under their hand was an army 300,000 and 7,500 that made war with mighty power to help the king against the enemy. And Uzziah prepared for them throughout all the host shields and spears and helmets and arbagions and bows and slings to cast stones. And he made in Jerusalem engines invented by cunning men to be on the towers and upon the bulwarks, to shoot arrows and great stones withal. And his name spread far abroad, for he was marvelously helped, till he was strong. But when he was strong, his heart was lifted up to his destruction, for he transgressed against the Lord his God, and went in the temple of the Lord to burn incense upon the altar of incense. And Azariah the priest went in after him, and with him 80 priests of the Lord that were valiant men. And they withstood Uzziah the king, and said unto him, It appertaineth not unto thee, Uzziah, to burn incense unto the Lord, but to the priests, the sons of Aaron, that are consecrated to burn incense. Go out of the sanctuary, for thou hast trespassed, neither shall it be for thine honor for the Lord God. Then Uzziah was wroth, and had a censer in his hand to burn incense, and while he was wroth with the priest, the leprosy even rose up in his forehead before the priest in the house of the Lord from beside the incense altar. And Azariah the chief priest and all the priests looked upon him, and behold, he was leprous in his forehead, and they thrust him out from thence. Yea, Ye himself has also to go out, because the Lord had smitten him. And Uzziah the king was a leper unto the day of his death, and dwelt in a several house, being a leper, for he was cut off from the house of the Lord. And Jotham his son was over the king's house, judging the people of the land. Now the rest of the acts of Uzziah, first and last, did Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos, write. So Uzziah slept with his fathers, and they buried him with his fathers in the field of the burial which belonged to the kings. For they said, He is a leper, and Jotham his son reigned in his stead. Okay guys, so here we see where Uzziah came and he followed the Lord, as did his father Amaziah. But as we recall, Amaziah did not follow the Lord wholeheartedly. Okay? And here we see where he actually thought himself more than God, obviously, and more than the commandments of God, so that he would actually go to offer incense before the altar of God, which was only to be done by the sons of Aaron at that point in time, which were the priests, which were set above everybody else and were consecrated for that service. And he went and he offered incense, and he thought himself more than that. And he became enraged, obviously, when he was rebuked for it by the Levites. And so when that happened, the Lord became angry with him, obviously, and smote him with leprosy, and he died a leper, and his son took over in his stead. We were already told about all this in Kings, but it's good to be reminded. Okay, we were all told this before, but it's always great to be reminded, because sometimes we need to be reminded of stuff so that we know where we're coming from, so that when we actually head where we're going, we know how to fully appreciate it. Alright guys, so this is just showing us that we need to humble ourselves always. There's no man that is above the law of God. No one is above the law of God. If you think that you've done so much for God, there's so much more that you can do, and there's so much more that everybody else can do, or anybody else but yourself can do. And so whenever you're able to do something for God, you should be grateful for it, and you should not try to exceed yourself above the will of God. Always try to remain within his will. Alright guys, so I'm gonna leave you with that. Please remember to continue walking in your salvation, and if you have not yet gained it, then seek it. There's no better time to begin than the present. Have yourselves a blessed day, and if you did not get my first Mother's Day greeting, then happy Mother's Day to you. You don't necessarily have to give birth to a child to be a mother. Have yourself a blessed day. Bye.